Tonight on UI7-News, shots are fired on Capitol Hill. We have the update on the situation going on in Washington.
It's day 3 of the government shutdown. Tonight, find out how that could be affecting students at the U of I.
Plus, the line I get ready to play a road game in a full house at Nebraska.
UI7-News starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio on the University of Illinois campus, UI7-News, your U of I news source.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Huynh.
And I'm Xing. Breaking news tonight. As if there wasn't already conflict in Washington, today there was a shooting incident on Capitol Hill that injured a police officer.
Police in Washington, D.C. say the female suspect in the shooting had first tried to ram barricades in a gate at the White House, and as police gave chase, the woman took off driving toward the Capitol a few blocks away. Authorities at the Capitol say the officer and suspect exchanged shots outside the Capitol. Emergency vehicles and hundreds of officers swarmed the Capitol complex with weapons drawn, and people inside the Capitol were told to stay inside. The officer was wounded and the suspect was also shot.
Veterans today continue to visit the World War II memorial despite a government shutdown. The National Park Service opened the memorial to allow these veterans to pay tribute to their fallen soldiers. They received welcome and respect from the crowd. This is followed by a recent incident when the veterans from the state of Illinois and Missouri tried to enter the memorial, but were blocked because of the shutdown. Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois was there with the veterans.
Over and over again, they said to me, when are you going to get this government up and running again? And I think about that. Men who risked their lives decades ago who can't understand what's going on today in Washington.
U of I students who receive federal grants and loans are wondering how the federal shutdown could affect them. The university's financial aid office warned that if the shutdown extends through the next few weeks, it might begin to cause a problem.
The funding process for loans hasn't been delayed, and we don't expect it to be delayed. There are a second level of issues that will come up if the shutdown goes more than a couple of weeks, but we don't know the details.
With tuition increasing at U of I, so is the amount of student debt. I spoke with students who are hoping to make paying for college less of a burden. College students like Scott Humphrey won't only be carrying their diplomas following graduation, but they'll also be carrying student debt. As an undergraduate student, Humphrey worked 20 to 30 hours a week to help pay for school, but still had to take out $25,000 in loans. He's now a graduate student at U of I and has his tuition waived, but still has to worry about the money he borrowed as an undergrad.
Throughout these years, interest has accumulated, so even though I've been trying to do this community-based work and then get a master's degree, it's still it's working against me.
Knowing that other students in Illinois are also accumulating debt that will be difficult to pay off, Humphrey shared his experiences with local lawmakers at a college affordability hearing held by State Senator Mike Frerichs on Wednesday.
I wanted the folks here from the General Assembly to put faces with this.
Law student Anthony Florentino finished as an undergraduate 11 years ago with no debt and reached out to Senator Frerichs to organize a hearing after seeing firsthand how much harder it is for students to pay for college.
I was motivated by my own personal student debt burden, which is almost $150,000. That's just from 3 years of law school. It's an extraordinary amount. It might make it very difficult for me to ever have children, to own a house of my own.
Students not only have to worry about tuition, but they have to worry about other expenses such as housing and class materials. Here at TIS Bookstore, this one textbook for an entry-level course can cost up to $92. Florentino hopes lawmakers can reconstruct lending policies to make it easier for students who are having trouble paying off all these extra costs along with tuition, but says it's up to the students themselves to enact change. In Urbana, Maggie Huynh, UI7-News.
With all eyes turning to the Affordable Care Act, some students at the U of I are now scrambling to figure out how it will affect them. U of I students may have a new resources for finding an insurance plan that's right for them. An Illinois Public Interest Research Group is bringing healthcare facts and tips to college students across the state. The Illinois PERC Education Fund just released a guide explaining the healthcare basics. Also included are simple tips on finding the right insurance plan. The guide can be found at illinoispirgedfund.org. Thousands of state retirees are concerned about upcoming changes to their health care plan. One of the major insurers has lost its contract to supply health policies to retired state workers, including university retirees. Health Alliance of Urbana had covered about 15,000 retirees in Illinois. Starting January 1st, retirees now under Health Alliance plans will be forced to pick a new doctor and new health plan. Retirees will have to move to Aetna Life Insurance, Humana Health, or United Healthcare.
It may seem early, but it's time for U of I students to start looking for a new place to live. Coming up, we'll talk to students who attended the Daily Illini Housing Fair.
And flu shots are being given free to U of I students. We'll show you where to get vaccinated coming up.